Good day coders, in this video I'll show you how we can integrate with the GitHub API to build this not so great UI but which is actually functional. So after retrieving like all our users from GitHub, we can have like a fuzzy search over here, and then if you don't find that user, we can actually use like our GitHub get user by username, and if we hit that search button, it should basically get the user, and if we were to clear this up, it'll actually do the fuzzy search again. So if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now let's get to the code. Alright, so just to speed up the purpose of this video, I've already created an Angular project, and how you go about doing that is ng generate new. So it's ng new and then the name of your project, which is going to be our GitHub app. You're going to be asked a couple of questions. So we selected the SCSS and also didn't allow server-side rendering. Another thing that you'll need to run is the ng generate environments, and what that will do is actually come over here and create this folder, which is the environments folder. So now let's go ahead and actually create stuff over there. So we know that we're going to be working with like the GitHub API. So for us to work around with like GitHub API, we'll just want to set up our base URL. So our base URL will be set to this HTTP API github.com. Then the next thing over here will be our token. So with our token over here, this is like your actual path token, but this is my actual path token. But what I'll actually do is, once I'm done with this video, I'll just make sure that I actually delete this token. So you need to generate your own path token. So we'll go ahead and save this and copy this for dev as well. Okay, awesome. So now that we've actually done that, we can go ahead and actually try to serve the app. So if we come over here and run this on 1000, that you'll see we already have the UI over here. So now what do we wanna actually do? So everything that we're going to create over here is going to be from our apps.component. So we'll want to create like our actual services. So over here we'll have our services, and inside our services, so now we'll just stop the app. So we'll say cd into source src app, then services. Okay, so now we'll just create our services, which is our, do we want to say it's generic services? Let me see, what do I want to do? Okay, let me just say this is going to be our GitHub API service. Okay, now that we've actually created that service, we'll go in here and actually create the two services that we're going to need. So the first one would be getting all our GitHub users. So for this, we'll need to use like a private HTTP, and this is coming from our HTTP client. So we'll import that, then we'll just say this dot http dot, then we're just going to be using a get request over there. So what are we gonna do? So we're gonna have something like this, and this is gonna come from our environment.base URL / and we want to get all users. So for that, we're gonna use this. So basically the URL or the endpoint that we're actually using is this endpoint over here. All right, cool. We also know that we actually need to include like our headers. So for this video, I won't go in depth with actually creating a JWT interceptor and stuff. Just focus on simplicity. So we know from the GitHub API, we need to also provide it with these headers. And for the token, this is actually what we're gonna pass it. So this is gonna come from our environment.token. So this is gonna be our path token. And basically this is what we'll need for our get users. So we're also gonna get a user by username, which is just basically searching a specific user. Okay, so now since that has been done, what else do we want to do, right? So for that, we'll need to sort of like use this endpoint. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say this, and then we basically need to pass in like a username over here. So how we go about that is, so we have this first part, and we're gonna just say /, we're gonna pass in a username, which is our GitHub username, and that's gonna be passed in here. So that's all we need for that one, and I guess we have all we need. Okay, alrighty, so I feel like this is all good. Let's go ahead and actually serve the app. So now that we've actually served this, we'll just create like, go to our app component, and we'll actually create like our actual constructor. So in our constructor, this is where we're just gonna inject our API service, and this is our GitHub API service, and this should actually let's see. Okay, so now that we have that, so now let's go ahead in our actual app, and just want to see something. Implements on init. So now on init, what we're gonna do is actually use the service. Okay, so this is gonna be const API that, and then we're just gonna get all users. So get users, and we just want to subscribe to this. So this will give us like a result, and what we basically gonna do is just console.log our users. So this is gonna be our result. So the results will consist of all our users. So we go ahead and save, and now, so this says on init. So this says it. Okay, this is running. Okay, now let's go ahead and come here and actually see. So now we see that we've encountered like an issue. So the issue is no provider for HTTP client, right? So the reason for that is because we need to actually provide, or actually import, basically, sorry. So this is, we'll actually need to import our HTTP client module. Okay, so wait, let me first do this, right? So we'll just first need to provide our service. So this is gonna be our GitHub API service. So once we've actually provided that and saved, you'll see that we're still encountering a problem, right? So the reason why we're encountering this problem is because we also need to import our client module. So the moment we've actually imported our client module, you should actually get all the users. Okay, so now let's go ahead and actually come over here and let's just delete everything. Okay. Let me see, what do I want to do? Do I want to create, let me just create a component or a page. So we'll just say ng generate, or we'll just make, let me just come here and say pages, and then I'll cd into pages and generate a component which is going to be our home page. So ng generate component, which is going to be our home page. So over here, now we know that we've got our home page. Also want to set up like a route. So this route is going to be a component, which is going to be our home page component. And then this is path. And then path match. Full redirect to home. Okay, so now that we have this, so the moment we go to our actual path, which is an empty path, this should redirect to our home. So what we'll need over here is a path, and this should say home, which is then gonna render our home component. So now if we were to ng serve, this, we should see something. So over here we're in our actual home page. So we go over here, we go to our home page, and let's actually now come over here and strip this out. So we'll just cut that, go to our actual home page and actually paste this here. So we basically need this. So we'll say this is from our GitHub HTTP, nope. So this is HTTP client module. And then we want to provide our actual GitHub service. So this is basically what we need. This implements on init. And let's actually see what we have. So now if I go ahead and close that, so you'll see that in our actual home service, we actually getting all our users. Okay, so what else do we then want to do, right? So since that we already have our users, so we'll just say all users. We can, okay, so we'll just say all users equal to any for now. And then this is going to be this dot all users equals to results, right? So basically that's what we have. So we can actually use something that's quite cool, which is our JSON to TS. So this is JSON to TS. So what this will do is actually we can paste in a JSON and this will actually create our interface for us, right? So now that we have our interface, we can come here and just say interfaces. Then in our actual interfaces, we can say git users dot interface dot ts. Right, and then we just say get users, or we'll just say this is a get user, and that basically, and we know this guy over here, this guy will give us all our get users. So if we go back here, we know that we're gonna get an array of get users. Okay, this is an array set up to an empty array, and that's all we need. Yeah, so basically this is all we need. Okay, interesting. So else if we have like an error, which could be set to type that any, so we'll just log an error, which is going to be our actual error. So on init, we'll get all our users from GitHub, and basically that's what we're going to need. Okay, so now we can go ahead and actually create something. So all, or we can just say this is our home container. I'm not gonna have the best UI, so we know we wanna have like a search container, which is gonna consist of that. Okay, we wanna have content over here. So we wanna set our content, then in here we know that we wanna set an input. So we'll have like an input and a search button. Okay, so this will just say it's search. Interesting. Okay, so what else do we want to do? So our actual search user. So that's gonna be our actual placeholder. And if we go ahead and save, let's see how that's looking like. So we've got two stuff over there, which is our actual search and that. Okay, underneath there we'll just have like our users container, and in our users container let me see, this is gonna be our user. So ng4, okay, all users. So here we're just gonna iterate through all users. Okay, let me see, I think Angular 17 ng4, there should be a newer way of doing this, right? I think that's the way. Okay, let's go ahead and do this instead. So now we're gonna say ng4, and then this is gonna be our user, then this is gonna say all users. So this is track, so this is user, track by user dot id. Okay, interesting. So what are we gonna do, right? So here we're just gonna have like our user card, and in our user card we just probably gonna have a section over here, which is our image section. So this is image. Okay, and then this is gonna be our style dot background image. So for our background image over here we'll have user dot that, basically. Okay, interesting. So there we'll have that, and then we'll also render the user's name. So we've got user dot okay, let's see what we have. So if we go back over here, we should have a login. So login should be our actual username. I think that's all we might need for that page. So we can see all our users. And that, so let's go ahead now and actually create our actual stylings, right? So when we style this, we're gonna have this guy over here. Inside we've got a content. Inside the content we have our search container. Okay, inside our search container we have like our actual input and our actual search button. So we'll have like our search button, which is that. Okay, so this is going to be display flex. Width is 100 pixels. Okay, this is going to be take a width of probably 80%. Display flex. So here we're just going to say justify content to center. So I think this is fine. Now we can say display flex direction set up to column. Row gap will say 32 pixels. Okay, so this will also be display flex. Right, so the width of this would be, let me see, 70%. And the height will be set up to 50 pixels. Border radius, this is going to be 10 pixels. Maybe padding left will be 16 pixels. Okay, so we can go to our styles over here and say btn, or set up all our styles. So our body, nope, so this will say box sizing border box, right? Padding will be set to 0 pixels. Okay, so now we can go ahead and actually set up like our our actual button styling. So we might want to have we'll just display this to flex. So after displaying this to flex, what else might we want? So color of the button, can set it to this. It's actually white. Then we have a background color, which would be set up to aqua. Okay, that's all we need. Then padding, right? So we'll just say 0, and then so left and right will be 0, and then top and bottom we'll just set this up to 10 pixels. We'll say our border radius is set to 10 or 16 pixels. Okay, then over here we'll say that's that, and btn. Okay, now let's go ahead and actually see how this UI looks like, right? So we've got this, which is not looking good, right? So let me see. Let's go ahead and come over here, and we'll set our border. Let's set our width. So we'll set this to 100 pixels. Okay, yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, justify center and align items to center. That should be fine. Okay, all right. So font weight should be set up to bold. So now that's set up to bold. Let me actually choose a proper color for the buttons. So So this should be good. It's not bad. Yeah, this is not a bad color for a button. So let's go to this input and say outline none. Okay, and this will be set up to 8 pixels and its border, right? Let's see. Nope. Border top, it's top right. Radius is none, and bottom. Okay, let's see now. How does that look like? Okay, say 0 pixels and 0 pixels, right? Okay. Alrighty. Now let's go ahead and actually change something over here. So this is all good. So instead of right here, we'll say left and left. Okay, that's fine. And then border right. So our border right is set up to none. Yeah, so this is looking all good. Okay, so outline is set up to none. So let's see what happens. So now when I select this, that doesn't have. Okay, so border, let's just set our border color. Let's see if I were to set it to EF, 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 F, E, F, E, F, E. Oh, hash. Sorry, my bad. Okay, let's see, is that... let's see, border, let's see if we kind of select a color. Let's say this is gray. Okay, awesome. So now how's this gonna look? So this is border. Okay, this is solid. Okay, this is 1 pixel, solid, that. Okay, now this is all good for a border, right? Now I love this. Now let's go ahead and actually come here and decide on what we're gonna show. So if I were to close this guy, and click on this. Okay, so the first thing over here that we'll need to do is set up a background image. Right, styles background image. I think I've got something wrong there. I think, is it styles? Not quite sure. Let's see, SG. Oh, I missed something. Okay, so this is URL, right? That's plus, and there we go. So this should show. Okay, let's see what's actually going on. Interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and actually try to open up this guy. So if we were to open up this guy over here, that should work, right? Okay, so now let's go ahead over here. Oh, okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, no, this is that's fine. Okay, that's fine, right? So let's see, why is it not showing? Okay, let's go here. This is HTTP. That. Interesting. Okay, let's actually find out as to why it's not showing. Okay. So, okay, instead of this, let's just use an image, because then we're just gonna save ourselves some time, right? I wonder why it's not showing, but let's just use an image, and instead of this, we'll just use an SRC. SRC, remove this, and remove that. Now let's go ahead and actually view this. Okay, awesome. Now that we can actually see that we've got all our images and stuff, so we can go ahead and actually create this. So we've got our search section. So we've got our users container. So over here we've got our users container, which is going to be set to display flex. Okay, column, or we can say gap. So this is going to be our gap. So our gap is going to be set up to 16 pixels, right? And then our width, no, this is going to be our gap, and then I think it's user card. For our user card, we'll just set up, let me see, I think this border is fine for actual card. So this border is set up to fine. Okay, interesting. So this border is fine. We're gonna set a padding of 16 pixels. Display flex direction will be set up to column. Row gap will be 16 pixels. Okay, and then we're gonna have like an image over here, which is gonna be set out to 150 pixels by the height of 150 pixels. Our border radius is gonna be 50%, and align item to set it to center. Okay, so now let's see how our UI is looking like. Okay, this is all good. I love this. So what's the next thing that we would want to do is, since this is set up to display flex, we'll say our flex wrap is equal to wrap. Okay, flex wrap equals to wrap. Okay, then our width. What is our width? So our width is going to be calculated by 100% divided by 4, right? So how many cards do we want to show in a row, right? 4 minus 32 pixels. Let's see what's going to happen. So if we go ahead and do that, that's what we're going to get. But we kind of have like an issue. So display, oh, sorry, my bad. I think the flex wrap was supposed to come outside here, and that should be fine. All right, so that's fine. And then instead of us here, there's something we didn't get right. Okay, so here we'll just say this is flex 1, right? So that I think this is all good. Yes, this is all good. Instead of yes, so this will fill up all that space. So this is 1, 2, 3, right? Okay, let's just say let me see something, right? So here this should be like 16 times 3, I think. And this is px, not, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure. Let's see. Is this gonna do the right thing? Not quite sure. Okay. So what's this? 16 times 3. Nope. Let's see what happens if I say divided by 4 like that. The gap is 16, right? So minus 16 px times 4. I don't know. This is gonna work out because I just don't want the spacing at the end, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I say times 3, what happens? So it does this, but it's dividing it by, so 100. Interesting. Oh, the gap is 16. Right? No, this is row gap. Okay, I don't know. If it's times 3, I think 3 should do the trick, or let me see. So let me just set the row gap. To that, and then instead of, so the justify content will be space between, right? So that we don't have like some spacing at the end. So I think this is fine with me. Okay. So now, so we'll say divided by 4 minus 16 pixels. Actually, that. So let's see how our UI is gonna look like. Okay, awesome. So now we know that we actually have our UI, which is not looking oh nice, but at least we've got something. We can go ahead and add some border radius. So border radius over here will be maybe 10 pixels. Yeah, so this will add in like some sort of like a border radius over there. And yeah, this is all good. I feel like it's not bad. Okay, so we can add like some sort of like a fuzzy search capability. So key up, so on key up, handle key change, and we'll just pass in like an event. And then in here, we can go ahead and do this. Okay, this is gonna be like our event type any. This is gonna be console.log, right? And then that, basically. So let's see what happens, right? So if I click this, that, should say event.target dot value. So if I do this, you see that I actually have that. So now the actual thing that I should do is have like a temp all users, which is gonna be the same thing of the same type, and this is this dot temp all users. We're gonna dereference our results. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and actually set up like a filter. So for filtering, what we're gonna say is all users equal to this dot temp users dot filter. So this is an item which is GitHub user. So if item dot login dot to lowercase dot includes, right? So this includes so this is gonna be this name we're actually searching by. Okay, interesting. So let's see what happens now, right? If we say Mojo, right? So that basically would do the trick for us. You see, that's why I actually didn't want us to use this justify. Okay, let's go ahead and actually fix this, right? So we'll just bring it back like this and save. Let's see how we have this. Okay, so now we say Mojo. So we're basically gonna have like a fuzzy search, but we also want to implement like this click search, right? Which is just gonna then call another endpoint. So how do we then go ahead and do this? Now let me see. Okay, we gonna come over here. We're gonna have a click event, which is gonna say handle search click. This is gonna be handling our search click. So this is gonna say handle search click, and then here we can say search name, which is a string of that. Okay. So the more we search, we'll just say this dot search name. I know you can just do a property binding if you want, or two-way binding. But this is still fine for me. Doesn't really bother me that much. Okay, interesting. So what do we then want to do? Okay, we know that the moment we then click this button, this will call this dot search name, right? This is gonna be our actual search name. Save. Okay, in here we wanna have like a cursor pointer. Cursor set to pointer. Okay, now let's see something, right? Say I've got a name, don't have anything, and if I click that, that should actually give me that. Okay, but now we want to know what we want to do, right? So let's go ahead and say this dot API dot get that by that username, then this dot search name dot subscribe, and basically what we want to give it is this. So we'll just give it that guy, and then instead of, what is this gonna return back? Is it gonna return back one user or what? Let me just give it of type any for now. So if I come back here and then we just say type any, and we do this, just want to see the results we're gonna get back. So console.log and then results. Okay, so let's actually search something, right? So if I search, this will give me one user object. Okay, this is fine. So I think if I were to use this, I could do something like this. So this is gonna be, that's type result, and it's gonna give me back a get user. So over here, when I search a user by username, okay, this should give me a get user. And interesting, okay, this should work. Okay, so now if I were to search this guy, see nothing, but if I hit that, that should give me like a user. So if now I hit this guy, which is my actual GitHub username, so if I search that, that should give me a user, right? And if I were to do this, that should give me back all the users that I had initially. So basically, this is all we need for this video. So what we've actually created in this video is actually using our GitHub API to get all our GitHub users, and we can actually now search through our actual GitHub users. So if you are new to the channel and you like this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now, peace.